All right, so we got it going. Yay. All right.
Awesome.
So this is Sue Greenwald here. Today is March 26th, 2024. I'm here today with John F. Kennedy Jr. And I'm going to call you the original John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I am doing wonderful. Great to be
Awesome.
here, Sue, and I thank you. I'm
Awesome.
clicking buttons. I hope I don't lose you here.
Okay,
I
yeah, I
couldn't see.
know they don't want your stories to get out there, so they try to cut us off and do all sorts of nefarious things. So we're just going to continue as best as we can. And today we're just going to tell stories and talk. So if there's any particular story you want to get out there that, now's the time. I have questions, of course. But before we get started, I wanted to mention the book Stolen Identity that you wrote. Okay. So many in the group or that watch these videos already have the book, but the book is available on Amazon. The link will be below. It is an easy book to read, although hard to read the content. So we're going to base our interviews that we've done and our conversations on the content of the book and any other stories that John wants to supplement us with. And we're going to also assume that those that are watching today have watched the previous, I don't know, 4 or 5 videos that we've done. Where we've kind of explained your story and all that. So for those that don't know, the shortened version is John was put into a kind of witness protection program, and he bounced around a lot after his father was assassinated, and he was put into witness protection, but it wasn't what we would think of. It was more filled with organized crime, drugs, kidnapping, human trafficking, and murder. Like pretty much every crime you can think of, John was witness to. And within years, his entire biological family were murdered and replaced with doubles. Okay, so the entire Kennedy family and the Onassis family as well has been replaced with doubles. And of course, John has been tortured, kidnapped, and kept in poverty his whole life. They don't want this story out. So I'm really glad we're talking today, John. And you can tell more of your stories and your experiences, and we'll ask questions and get more of an understanding of what you went through.
So much appreciated. Yeah, I've been. I like going live with you because we just talk about whatever, which is
Yeah.
really good. I've been sharing on TikTok.
Yep.
The lower class people um, have nothing to lose because they've already lost it, and the middle class they really don't have much because they're middle class, but the people with money and that are living it good right now, they have everything to lose. I'm trying to share my stories because they're the ones that need to wake up. They're the ones that need to really hear my story and know how our government's working.
Right.
The men in black are real. The men in black exist. The men in black, they show up. If you got, they'll be driving down the road, and I've seen this happen. They'll be driving down the road and say, I like that house. And they'll come take your house. Um, Straight up. The men in black, they exist 100%. They're so powerful. They'll take what they want. They did it with my whole family. They did it with the Kennedy family. My father was assassinated. My uncle was assassinated right in front of the whole world to see. But the people don't know the rest of the story. My sister, my mother, my sister's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, my mother remarried a billionaire, his family. They use identity theft to do it. I can't stress it enough. And they'll take what they want, and they'll simply step into your shoes, become you, and take it all. And there's nothing nobody can do about it. Think about it. I'm John Kennedy Jr. I'm in all the photos up to the age of 10. The whole world didn't catch it. How many, that's 50 years. 50 years have gone by. People didn't notice. And if they did, maybe they just disappeared trying to share my story. But I'm out now sharing my story of what really, really happened. There's still a lot of criminals out there. Me and Robin were talking about how powerful Satanism is in this country. It runs this country. The people at the top and the crimes they do and get away with it. They believe they get energy off of fear and every other thing. They'll put their victims right in. They'll plant their victims in the ground right to get energy. they'll expose it on national TV, their crimes that they do, and nobody catches it. And they think they get their power from it anyway, but nobody catches it. So they've been getting away with their crimes.
Right.
For years and years, they've been getting away with their crimes. Um, and I got to throw this out there. I got a new motorbike. I think it's going on 2 weeks, but I am planning a justice ride back east. I want to go to Boston, Massachusetts. Well, first is Dallas. I got to stop in Dallas where my father was executed right in front of the whole world. I want to stop there and make some noise there. But I want to go to the JFK library and make some noise there because these people, these satanic people, they go to the JFK library and they sit there at ceremonies and every other thing and say, we murdered the Kennedys and we got away with billions of dollars. And it's huge. So I want to make some noise. I want to bring my book to the JFK library and say, let's change history. I want to go to Washington, D.C. I want to see the windows shake in Washington, D.C. from the rumble of all the Harley Davidsons. And if you don't have a Harley, your moped or your car or your motorhome or whatever, but I want to shake the ground. I want to end up in Arlington, Virginia, and we're going to wake the dead with the thunder and the roar of truth and justice. And I want to place my book on my father's grave that I have not seen in 60 years with thousands and thousands of supporters and their cameras. The news media, they're doing everything to hinder it. I've sent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails, messages to the news. They don't want this story out because they're part of the regime that don't want you to know the truth. They're all part of the corrupt regime. So we're going to make some noise and we're going to make them report the real news with John Kennedy Jr. placing his book. And I hope all the motorcycle clubs can unite for this one. I really, really do. We can all become one. I hope America can unite, and we're going to do it. We are 100% going to do this. If I have to do it alone, I'm doing it alone, but we're going to do it. And I hope thousands and thousands of people will follow me along the way to free America, to get justice for America. And hopefully we can do it peaceful and just tell them all to leave in government. We want a new government. It's we the people. Just pack up your bags and leave. We don't want you lawmakers. We don't want you congressmen and your senators. We don't want you. It's all about we the people. Right. And we'll sort that out.
Do you have dates for this ride yet?
I just threw it out there. I'm not very well at planning, but I put my P.O. box number on TikTok. I'm hoping I can get some ideas. People might want me to stop at certain places. But I just threw it out there. I haven't even got the map out and started putting dots on it yet. And it's got to be nice weather. So we still got a few months to plan it.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to at least a month in advance. But I'm asking everybody to get their little jar out and start throwing change in it for gas money so they can join. And but yeah, we got a few months still.
Right. What a fun project. What a fun project. And what a great statement to make. And you know, like you said something earlier today, the wealthy people don't want the story out. They have the resources. They have this, they have that. The middle class, the lower class, we don't really have extra money. You know, we're in survival mode pretty much by design. And so we don't have the resources. So if somebody, you know, makes us do something we don't want to, creates a new law, whatever it might be, we have to comply. And I think people are getting fed up. I mean, it's hard to know out there because you've still got the sheeple, but I think the average person is starting to look around and say, this isn't right. You know what I mean?
I take my motorbike, even my old motorbike, but I'd have my book and my mom's book and things in my motorbike, but I'd go to the grocery store. I go to the church, I go to the grocery store, places I go in Bullhead, and everybody calls me John Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
If I go somewhere new and I'm meeting new people, they would see my motorbike and say, what's with all the JFK stuff? And I was like, I'm JFK. And I would pull out my book and I would show them and they would go, wow, our government is corrupt. We know that. Well, it's time to stop knowing it and start doing something about it. Everybody knows our government's corrupt. Everybody I talk to knows our government's corrupt. But what are we going to do? We're going to tell them to leave. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
They've been running this show way, way, way too long. They get away with murder. They get away with identity theft, and we can't let them do it no more.
Yeah.
These people that get away with murder and identity theft and their crimes to line their pockets aren't for we the people. They aren't. We need to better this world, and that's one way. I'm going to try to do it anyway.
Yeah. When you say getting away with murder, you're talking literally. Okay. So for those that haven't read the book or watched the previous videos, we are talking literally. There's been nothing in your life, especially your experience. You've had murder after murder, and you've witnessed crime after crime. And, again, everyone was in on it. You were just a young child for much of it, and you had no power, authority. You didn't have a greater knowledge of what to do. But now, fast forward 60 years later, it's time. It's time to blow the whistle. It's time to have these corrupt government officials, corrupt programs, all of that exposed and eliminated. So this is great.
And it's not just me.
Yeah.
I get comments all the time. I'm just coming out with my story on TikTok, but I've been trying for years. But I get people messaging me all the time, and they're heartbreaking. They've killed my husband and got away with it. They've killed my children and got away with it. Many people are, and I'm not in a position to do anything to help, really, except
Right.
share what they're telling me.
Right.
That needs to change. So
Yeah.
many victims to what's really going on. Having your children murdered because they want to profit. It's sad. I've seen it. They made it so I could not have my own children. They fixed that. I believe that's in my book. But they were planning. They pre-planned. They are that organized. They pre-plan things to steal money.
Right.
Straight, it's first degree. It's they plan it. They plan their crimes all the way to we're going to put our blood in and take his away. And that's what they did. They took away the Kennedy family's power, their blood, their loved ones, and they put it in with organized crime family members. It's a satanic cult. And I'm not just saying that off the top of my head. They are satanic. It's huge, and it's all about blood. It's all about their family. It's all about Satan, and it's all about money and power and control. And once again, it's not conspiracy theory. This book right here is no conspiracy theory. It is my lifetime truth. It's what I've seen,
Right.
what I've experienced. Um, I get that comment so often. Um, I'll say, I'm John Kennedy Jr., and somebody will say, well, I'm not really into conspiracy theories. And I have to say, no conspiracy theory here. I've lived it.
Yeah.
But once again, Sue, thank you so much for helping me get this out to the world, because the world needs to know. They
You
really do. So
You're most welcome. And if I had more resources, I would help in a bigger way. But this is one way. And like I think I said last time, I feel like the story needs to spread at a grassroots level. It's the common person that will see the video, read the book, share the book, share the videos. And that way their eyes will be open. They'll educate themselves. They'll see what's really happening, and then we'll become stronger. Now, I'm not sure where we go from there, but at least people will understand what's happening. We're seeing it more and more out there right now as we speak. The pedophilia is coming out, the satanic rituals are coming out. Like there's whistleblowers coming out now, where a few years ago they'd come out occasionally, but then they'd go back into hiding, or they'd end up mysteriously dead. Okay, so they're starting to come out. People are starting to take notice. Maybe they don't quite understand the whole story, but it's coming out, and it needs to. Yeah. Even in today's news, you're seeing it. So that's very exciting. Yeah.
yeah, it sure is. For the people that want to bother to do the research on my story, I am in all the childhood photos, all of them up to the age of around 10 years old. I had a Hollywood career. I was in so many different shows. I was in movies. This right here is one of the movies. and that is with 6, you get an egg roll. And how they control children in Hollywood. I was put, and I very clearly remember this. I was put with Doris Day and Brian Keith. That is me right there as a Hollywood kid. This is me right here as a Hollywood kid. But I was in the show Emergency. I was in the show One Adam 12. I was on the show Green Acres, My Three Sons, and other shows that were popular in the 70s. And the name they gave me was Richard Steele. They simply gave my name, that the Hollywood name. They can change names in Hollywood to another Richard Steele. But if you do your research, they're saying Richard Steele, as that child right there, would have been like 15 years old. This kid right here on the top of that car would have been 15 years old. I don't think so, people. If you look at Richard Steele's career, if you look at the childhood photos, like I said, all the childhood photos are of me. Compare them to the John that stole my identity, my stepbrother George, at the age of 10. Totally stepped into my shoes, just like we were talking about, as organized crime would. The ears, there's people making videos and comparisons. The handwriting, there's been 2 experts on the ears say I'm 90%, 98%, 2 experts that do things like that. And ears are like a fingerprint, but the ears, you can research the ears.
Yeah.
There's the handwriting. My handwriting as a kid, when I wrote the school teacher letters, there's so much handwriting. And then the man that replaced me, the John Kennedy, the whole world knew that replaced me, the handwriting don't match the child. There's so much proof, so much evidence out there. I've taken 4 DNA tests. People keep asking me, over and over again, DNA, and I get really sick of it. I'm not going to believe you unless I see DNA. Well, there's so much other proof. I mean, what did we do before DNA? But I've taken 4 DNA tests, and not one of those tests. Well, the first 3, the 4th one's not back yet that I know of, but I've taken 3, and none of them are exact matches to any of them. They're all different from big percentages of what percent I am Irish, and one came back, said I'm 100% European. But none of them are exact. They want exact proof. A DNA test, by what I've seen, isn't. But we're hiring a scientist. We purchased DNA. And with that said, on TikTok, I have my address. Maybe you could post my P.O. box number also, Sue, because I'm getting a haircut. I'm getting a haircut. And all this hair right here is going to get cut off because it gets all tangled up riding a motorbike and everything. But if people write me, Robin bought a great big stack of thank you cards. I'll put a piece of hair in there. You'll have your own DNA and every other thing. You can make a clone of me or not, or whatever you want to do, but you'll have it. maybe all these comments will stop about how the people aren't going to believe me with all the other proof I'm showing. So much.
Yeah, so you're willing to do a DNA test, but the problem is having an honest and uncorrupted test. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're getting answers. You can't trust anyone. How do we know that they're not in someone's back pocket? So that is the issue. All right. And but a couple things I wanted to say. First of all, show them your t-shirt. Like you've got, if you can stand up just a little bit. Okay. And then spread out the bottom a little bit if you can. So yeah, let's see if we can do it. All right. So,
can you see it?
Yeah. So you've got your ears on the very left as a child, right?
Yep. You got, on the very left is my, someone did this for me and I appreciate it.
Yep.
But yeah, on the left is me as a child. In the middle right here is me right now.
Yeah.
And then you have another picture of me as a child. And then you got George, Mr. George Onassis, the man that stole my identity. So how does that ear go to that ear right in front of the whole world without the whole world knowing? Yeah. It happens because people just don't pay attention. They don't.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing, people are like, I've gotten some comments, and if you look at the pictures in your book, and of your childhood pictures. And if you look at your eyes and then you look at your eyes now, they've got a shape, a certain shape to them, where the other one that portrayed you doesn't have that same shape. He looks totally different. And of course, way back when, we weren't thinking along the lines of doubles and all of this stuff. We trusted people much more than we did now. And so, yeah, and we didn't have like the cable TV where we could watch reruns. We didn't have all of that. So it wasn't as easy to see some of these little clues that we're seeing now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I got an air freshener that somebody just made me. I want to share it.
Okay.
But it actually hangs in your car. It's too strong. They put too much perfume on it for me to just anyway. But if you can see that, that's a side by side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that picture came from a gentleman that did an article in Quebec, Canada, for a news article. My story's getting out. I appreciate him doing that, but that's a side by side of my photo, and I'm guessing I was in my 30s or 40s back then, and my father was probably the same age as me.
Yeah.
And then on the back, and I thought that was totally cool. Mama
Totally
Butterfly
cool.
did that. I mean, We the People did that for me. I'm sorry, We the People. But there's the ones with the ears, and they made little car smell good things.
Yeah, it's a great, having that image though is really good, because it's really like you're almost, if you were the same color on the photo, you would be one person. You look exact, you know what I mean? And that picture is also in the book. So, again, if we look at the photos and then look at the shape of your eyes have, like, I don't know, like maybe a little tilt to them or whatever. You've got the same eye.
Talking about my eyes, I get styes all the time in my eye, and they're very painful. And right now, I got one right here on my eyelid, and it is so painful. But yeah, and then Robin gave me the knee to the eye too. That didn't help, but yeah, I don't know why I always get those styes in my eye. It seems like every few months I'll get one, and then 2 weeks later it'll be gone. But very, very painful.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, people were picking my pictures apart when I first started, coming out and doing that kind of thing. But
yeah, there's some really creative people out there. So let's just do a few random stories, if that's okay with you.
I lost you, Sue.
Oh, how about now?
I touched my computer screen and something happened here.
I can see you.
You can see me okay?
Yep.
Oh, okay, because I can't see you or me, and I don't know what I did. But that's all good.
Are you sure?
Let's see here. I'm gonna click off of this one because it just says zoom, and I don't see anything but a big zoom on
Go
here.
to the bottom part of your screen and see if there's a little minimize zoom, and then you can click on that maybe.
I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Yeah, there you had it right. On the bottom right of my screen, there was just a little thing that popped up, and I got you back. That's cool.
Yeah. Somebody just
I just touched it and you were gone.
Somebody put a message out there, a colloidal silver, geez, I can't talk, is good for your eyes. So there's all sorts of natural remedies out there that might help, but we'll work on it.
Yeah. I was getting sent all kinds of herbs and vitamins, and which is so cool. And I still got a little box full of them. I need to start taking them more often. But
yeah. Anything you can do for your health only makes you feel better, right?
Right. And yeah, with that said, King Smarty sent me a box of things. I think it's been 3 months ago, but I can actually say I feel better. He gave me this.
Yeah.
And he said it's for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yep.
And it works.
Yeah.
That's all I can say is it works. Yeah. I don't know much about it. I haven't looked into it, but he said it works, and I feel better.
All of the products have a healing and protective frequency in them. So you're just absorbing all of those healing frequencies and feeling better every day. So that's excellent.
Yeah, I actually messaged Smarty. I was up. I couldn't sleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I looked over at my dog bowl, and my dog, he's like 20 years old. I love that little dog. But I looked over and I said, Robin needs to put one of those frequency stickers on my dog's bowl. And it
Yeah.
didn't have one. And I messaged Smarty. I said, every dog bowl needs one of your stickers on there. Make the dogs feel better. And he said, I already got them, brother. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's cool.
Yeah. He has dog collars, dog charms. Like we call these charms. Okay, so he has dog charms and all sorts for your cats as well. And just helps them to feel better as well. So for anyone that's watching that doesn't know what we're talking about, you can go to smartiescorner.com and look around, or you can message me about them. So those are excellent products that we all use. So
Hell of a nice guy.
yeah,
Hell of a
yeah.
nice guy.
And want basically healing the world. All right. So all these
And
products lift the vibration of wherever you are, yourself, your home, whatever it might be. Yeah, go ahead.
and King also said he invited me down to take a jet ski ride with him and play with the dolphins. He threw that out to me like 2 months ago. I was
Yeah,
like, how am I ever going to get to Florida? I mean,
yeah,
it's all the way on the other side of the United States. So um, after Arlington, Virginia, when I place the book, I'm going to be on that side of the
yeah,
country anyhow.
yeah,
Smarty, I'm going to come play with the dolphins with you, brother,
yeah,
and have a great day.
yeah. You are going to have a great day because you're going to see things that you didn't even know that were really real. It's going to be great. Going to be great. So excellent. So let's go back into your story. Last week you had told me that when Bill Gates was air quote inventing his computer or whatever, you were under a table or something with a walkie-talkie giving him instructions. Can you kind of go over that story again?
I was young, but yeah, I was playing under the desk in his garage, and it was Jackie, my mother, maybe it was my fake mother, but I was handed a black and yellow walkie-talkie, and they said you just leave your walkie-talkie on, and when we talk to you, you relay what we're telling you. And when he would have a question, he couldn't figure out how to get to, they were inventing the computer supposedly, but the computer already existed. They were just passing that information on so they could make him a billionaire. And I was under the desk. They dropped me off at his house. I was under the desk with my little walkie-talkie. And when he'd have a problem, he would ask a question, and it was relayed through walkie-talkie. And yeah, where they were, I don't know. Maybe they were sitting in front of the plans for the computer or whatever. But if he had a question, he would ask, and it would be relayed. And that was all done to make Bill Gates a billionaire.
Okay,
And
so
I'm sure they had plans on already in advance to have one of these computers in everyone's home.
why did they need you as the middleman, or why did they use you as a middleman? Like you were just a kid, right? Let's say you were 10, just picking a number. Why would they use you and just not give him the walkie-talkie?
Because then it would have been a crime.
Ah,
And with me there, they had already done so many crimes against me and my family, where, let's say I was under the desk and the FBI showed up. Well, what are they going to do when the son of the assassinated president is there also? They would have had to expose it to the world. So I
oh,
believe that it was done just to help cover up the crime, that they were stealing government secrets.
okay. So where did the computer plans come from originally? The ones that were passed down?
I was told it was through government research. So you can't sell once the government had paid. The government spends all that tax money researching. They're not allowed to just give it to civilians so they can become rich. So there had to be a little sneakiness to it, and that was how they got away with it.
Right, right. Okay. So he would have a like a little problem, like, oh, I can't figure this out. He'd tell you, you'd walkie-talkie it over, get the answer and pass it along to him.
Right? I had no idea what they were even talking about,
Yeah.
but I still don't know what XYZ and and how I can see you to this day through airwaves. It's beyond my knowledge. I still believe that they got this knowledge from digging up the tombs, and the knowledge that they got that were hidden for thousands of years that they already had. But yeah, as a kid, we would go try to dig up old tombs. They would pay people to, find the technology, and then they were the first ones in to get that technology. But the technology they had 2,000 years ago is beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of non-mechanical technology that we don't understand. So, we know what a machine is. You plug it in, it uses electricity and it does X, Y, and Z. But a non-mechanical piece of technology doesn't use the same kind of system that we do. So we don't really understand that. And I'm sure they've been digging up all this stuff and researching it. Plus, they probably had help from above, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm not talking God, I'm talking extraterrestrial assistance. So back to Bill Gates, about how old was he? And so here's my question. Was he male or female?
I don't know. I know I was under his desk, but I don't think I was doing anything down there.
No, I didn't mean against you, but I just meant like in general, because I've seen reports where he's really a biological female. And I was just curious, like how did he get picked? Like who chose
they
him?
they all went to the same concert shows. Um, the music industry was huge. When I was young, I was with Ozzy Osbourne. So many of the entertainers, but Bill Gates and them, they all hung out with these people in the music industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, my brain goes dead. I'm trying to. It says on this energy drink right here, it will help my mind. So I'll have another swig. See, it worked. Leonard Skinner.
Wow, okay.
But yeah, so many bands I knew back then, that would hang out with. But yeah, Bill Gates was part of that. The other guy, his partner, I don't know, was part of that. Um,
So
yeah.
Bill Gates hung out with Leonard Skinner.
Um, by what I understand, it was the same clique.
And
They
so
had they were all in on the entertainment industry type of thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I was too young to know all the, but yeah, that's how I come to figure out that Bill Gates was selected to do because it was the same clique as the music industry.
Really? And so
And
he was,
what they can do to make you go buy an album and put the things in their songs, is probably right in there with the technology.
yeah,
You know
definitely.
how they can pick someone and make their song a number one hit
Yeah,
and things like that.
yeah. But do you notice that Leonard Skinner's plane crashed a few years later?
I was on that plane. I don't
What?
know if I told you. I don't know if it's in my book. I have been
No.
through so many crashes and so many attempts on my life. I don't like to tell everybody, but I was a roadie for Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner, the band, was helping hide me out and protect me. My job was to tear down the scaffolding, put the lighting in the boxes, and get the stages ready, break the stages down. But they hired me as a roadie. I wasn't getting paid, but they were helping, hide me out. I was actually on the plane when it crashed. And there's a long story behind that one. I don't think Jackie put it in my book. I don't even know if I mentioned it when we were writing the book.
It's not in the book.
But oh, if you're familiar with the movie Catch Me If You Can with
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, and the what the part he was playing in that movie, in the part he was playing, he was a pilot, and he would fly. He didn't even have a pilot's license. He would pretend to be a pilot,
Right.
and he would fly these planes. Well, that day, guess what? He forgot to fuel the plane of Leonard Skinner, or purposely forgot to fuel the plane that crashed. It ran out of fuel. That was, and I need another drink to remember names. I was tortured not to remember names, but the movie Catch Me If You Can is based on that. But they don't tell you he was the pilot that day that crashed Leonard Skinner's plane.
I,
The
I don't
FBI.
I don't think he flew the planes in the movie. I think he always took the extra seat to go from place to place. Like he'd pretend to be a pilot, but he'd say, "Oh, I'm getting over to this city today." He'd get a ride. I don't think he flew the plane,
Yeah,
but
he flew the planes because
did he?
I was there on the plane with Leonard Skinner when he opened up the door and said, "We're going to crash. We just ran out of fuel."
Holy shit. So how big of a plane was that we're talking? Was it like a commercial jet?
It was, the seats on both sides. It was a big plane because the band was actually sitting in the front of the plane. I was on the left hand side towards the back, and they were working on a new song. I don't remember what the song was, but they all had their guitars and they were singing. They had the chicks there with them. But when we crashed, I put my head behind the seat, and the seat I had my head on got cut in half. The shrapnel literally came through the side when we crashed and cut the seat in front of me in half. And I have nightmares about that to this very day. But they were sitting there singing their song. And when he stuck his head out and said, "We're going to crash," everybody shit themselves. They all instantly stopped practicing, playing, and everybody, got in their seats, prepared to crash. And when we did crash, the seat and federal agents showed up there and covered it all up. What happened to the little box on Leonard Skinner's plane? They covered it all up. They were in the music industry. They're controlled by government and organized crime. But yeah, I was on that plane. They were trying to hide me out. I believe it was an attempt to take me out once again. I don't like admitting that I was on all these crashes, helicopter crashes, plane crashes, and every other thing, because people can't believe that I survived once, let alone five.
Wow. Like I don't even know what to say anymore. Like I didn't expect that. Uh, what we were talking about, Bill Gates. I wasn't expecting to go to Leonard Skinner in the plane crash. Wow.
The hat band.
Yeah.
There's a video of Leonard Skinner, I believe it is in Oakland, California. I made him that hat band. It's a rattlesnake skin hat band. I made that in appreciation for Ronnie Van Zant helping me. I made him a rattlesnake escape. I went and killed me a rattlesnake. I skinned it. I put it on a board. I salted it, aged it. I made him a hat band and he wore it. John Wayne, I made one for John Wayne also.
Wow. Wow. And for us, again, it's hard for us to understand, like you're dropping all these celebrity names, Hollywood names, politicians names. And for us, it's like we go deer in the headlights because the regular people don't meet, famous people that we've heard of, these celebrities. We don't know the stories behind them. And you, of course, were from a wealthy family, a political family, and being flown all around the world doing whatever. And then once you were in this witness protection program, you were still doing that. You were going all around the world. You did these Hollywood shows and movies and things. And your life of travel and adventure continued. And not always in a good way, but like it's always like, a little shocking, I think, to us that you've done all this stuff.
I I won't fly to this day.
Yeah.
I figured I was like a cat. My 9 lives are done. Robin asked me to fly to Texas. I said, it ain't gonna happen. Um, if somebody's life was in danger, of course I would get on a helicopter or a plane. But yeah, I've been through so much. My body is broken. But I had my foot in the door as a kid. So many shows that I was on, like this one. Doris Day, she was huge.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was so many, and that's how you would. Wayne was the man. Um, and he put me in he knew all these people, kind of like David Letterman and everybody else, you know. David Letterman, just think of all the Hollywood stars David Letterman know, all the musicians. And this goes back to gosh, I wish I wouldn't forget names. But there was a show that was on way back when, and they would have the Beatles on, they would have the Rolling Stones on, they had Elvis on. Just think of that show and all the people that were on that show every week. That man, his address book was just full of Hollywood stars. Well, Wayne was the same way.
Yeah.
So if me and Wayne were somewhere and Wayne needed to go somewhere, he would just find out who was in the area going somewhere, and we'd hop a ride for free.
Wow.
Um, so we could travel everywhere in the world just with his connections, and we didn't have to buy a ticket. It was all private planes and every other thing. If somebody was making, I remember one time we hopped a ride. The gal on Little House on the Prairie was doing a movie somewhere, but it was in another country. Maybe it was Greece or something. And we simply hopped a ride on the plane that was taking the crew and everybody else there, and just had a free ride.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, there's so many questions that it's like they're crowding my mind. Basically, you had told me before your mother wanted you to have like a career. All right. So that's kind of why you were doing the Hollywood thing, that you were acting in these shows and all of that. So you started doing that, but and you were in multiple shows. We've seen clips of that, but why did you stop doing that? Like what caused that to stop?
I really don't know. I
Yeah.
honestly don't know. I don't know if it was a takeover. I don't know if people started dying. Um, it's a huge murder crime
Yeah.
ring at the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jackie wanted me, and the I don't know if you want to call them Secret Service agents or who, they were building me up.
Yeah.
Um, Huge. They wanted me to be in Hollywood. They wanted me to be in the military. They wanted me to meet everybody, and to them, you earn your rank, so-called rank, in this world with your achievements. Um, it brings you up the ladder. I heard that phrase so many times. You got to climb the ladder. One time I said, I've climbed the ladder so many times. How much further do I got to climb to get up this achievement ladder within this world and government and every other thing? And I believe it was Wayne. He said, if you think you got to the top of the ladder, flip it over and climb it again.
All right. Yeah. So on one hand, we like Wayne because he did introduce you around, but on the other hand, we don't like Wayne because it wasn't always positive. Like there was a lot of crime involved, and you've seen him murder people and do all sorts of things. And I guess he was trying to show you or teach you lessons, but again, to the average person, it seems a little bit of a shocking way to show somebody.
Yeah. Well, they weren't, in short, they weren't trying to raise me to be a pussy. They wanted me to handle whatever
Yeah,
came at me in
yeah,
this world with
yeah,
all the evil and everything that's done.
yeah,
But there's been times I wanted to kill, I wanted to get revenge. If somebody walked in the door that had really done me wrong, I would have just took their head off, straight up,
yeah,
not even thinking about it. Just, you did me that wrong, you did my family that wrong, you're gonna lose your head. But Wayne knew that, and one day I had mentioned, I don't know what I had mentioned to Wayne, but there's so much spin that can be done. Um, you got people that start wars actually for real, and they can throw spin at you and confuse you where you think somebody's a bad guy. They're not a bad guy. I think I told you in one show how they hung up this one guy that they thought was a terrorist on the wall, but actually he was a good guy. So Wayne told me one time, he said, I'll do your killing for you just so you don't screw up and kill the wrong person. That's what he
ah,
told me.
okay. So sometimes there were, like, we'll call them double agents, guys that were trying to infiltrate, and they were really working for the good guys, but he was kind of playing the middle, it seems like a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said before, I love Wayne with all my heart. I myself would kill for Wayne. I would die for Wayne, but he scares the shit out of me
Yeah.
because I've seen what he can do and the power that man had or has to this very day.
Yeah.
Um, he was willing to kill for me to get, protect me. And he had, there was a couple times we played a game. That game was you sit here, you be a worm on a hook. If somebody tries to kill you, we'll kill them. And that happened more than once. So think about the emotions I had sitting next to somebody and waiting for them to pull their weapon out and kill me. Is really hard. It's
Yeah.
really emotional. You got to be a strong individual to play those games. And I played them, and I never liked it. But just like when I got on the plane with John, George, the whole world knew. When I went for that plane ride, it was just like one of the many incidences where I sat there next to somebody that wanted to kill me. And I was just hoping it worked out for the best. But yeah, I have had quite a few that aren't in my book where I had to sit there and wait because when you're the good guys, especially at the top, because our country wants, there's people that want our country, our government. There's spies. There's people that want that power of the United States government. But yeah, for once again, for me to sit there and wait for somebody to try to kill me because you can't just kill somebody because you think they want to kill you. That's not how it works. The good guys can't do that. We can't just go around saying you're a bad guy, bang. You're a bad guy, bang. You got to wait for them to be a bad guy and show you they're a bad guy
Right.
and actually threaten your life. But
Right.
once they do, then bang, end of story. And I've had to be put in that situation, fighting for so long. Um, I'm glad not lately. I hope I don't have any new stories to tell next week about that kind of thing. But yeah, that's how I've had to live. You'd be surprised what I have to do just to protect myself and try to stay alive. So yeah.
It's hard for us to understand because I mean, you must have been under constant anxiety and stress, always having to, watch your back, literally.
Yeah, it's really hard, but
Yeah,
shit like this helps. Not
yeah,
that it's shit, but yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
helps.
yeah. So that's the PTSD charm, and you've worn it for like 2, 3 months now, and you're looking better and feeling better, I hope. But you
Oh
know,
yeah.
again,
My heart from 30% to 55% in a half a year.
yeah, yeah,
And I was all worried, when I went into the hospital, they said, you're going to die. You're probably going to die. Don't even plan on getting off the operating table and all this. And I researched. They were talking, they were going to send me, this was a year and a half, 2 years ago. They were going to send me to Las Vegas to wait for a new heart transplant. And I was like, I got to think about this shit. I basically had no income. I had no money. They're wanting to send me to Las Vegas to wait. I'm like, how am I even going to live? How am I going to survive? I can't keep going to the hospital saying I'm waiting on a heart. Can you give me a sandwich? So I had a lot going through my head
yeah,
back
yeah,
then. And
yeah,
I was like, hey, slow down a minute here, people.
yeah,
But I read it, the best way to improve your heart is get a heart transplant when it was as weak as mine was. But I didn't expect it to go from 10% to 30% and now 55%. It's amazing. So it's
yeah.
all good.
A lot of us have been working on your healing, so I would expect that it's going to get better, 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 better as time goes on. And again, you have the Smarty products in your home, which only helps too. So all of that's going to help and make you feel better and stronger. So yay, yay. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
awesome.
so, and I know, telling these stories over and over has got to be difficult and not only tedious, but it's got to push buttons and bring up bad memories. And I'm sorry to make you do that, but it does help the general person to understand your story. So can you tell us, you said 5 plane crashes because I now know of 3 that you've been in. So was the was the one you just
Actually, I was probably in more than that.
Oh,
because actually we were actually flying to Hawaii one day in a little private plane,
yeah.
and we ran out of gas, and we ended up in somebody's backyard,
Oh,
actually in Hawaii.
wow.
So that was still considered a crash because we actually crash landed, but we didn't crash. It was an okay
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was on that helicopter that crashed where I broke my back, and my ass went through my chin. It felt like.
Mm.
Um, and then when I crashed in Greece,
Right.
and my brother Alexander died in my arms.
Yeah.
He was probably dead before I put him in my arms to see if he was alive. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I tell people that, and they're like, "You couldn't have survived one, let alone five." Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
It's
mean, there was a
evident.
couple near misses too, but that the trail of what I'm saying and the truth of it, um, all the way to the Hell's Angels acquiring one of the Kennedy helicopters. I mean, if there was people, private investigators wanted to follow the money trail and do a little investigating, Donald Trump had old helicopters after '89. He acquired new ones. Um, One instance was Donald Trump's tail rotor of his helicopter hitting a fence. But I could tell so many stories of so much truth, and all people got to really do is follow the money trail and see who ends up with all the money.
Mm. Yeah. So I hate to even bring up the T word because it supercharges people. We get a lot of like people are very loyal to Trump, very loyal.
Oh, and that just shows how brainwashed they are and
Yeah,
how corrupt the system is,
yeah,
because they're just, well, he says this and that's awesome. He says this and that's great. Everybody thinks life's going to be so much better. But yeah, it's all bullshit. I can't stress it enough.
yeah, yeah,
My cousin Donald Trump is dead. They stole billions of dollars doing it. They didn't stop stealing once Donald Trump became the man. They stopped. They kept stealing. What's in his closet? People do a little research and quit supporting people just because they say something. Yeah, and
yeah,
it is sad. It breaks my heart also. It
yeah.
really does, because I'll see the greatest American support for that man. They're flying Trump flags, they're flying American flags, they're rallying together. We're going to make America great again. Yeah, because Donald Trump said it. And it's a handful of shit they're getting fed. And it breaks my heart seeing that support. I mean, hey, all I got to say is this: the man was president once. And what did he do? I mean, people can say, oh, well, he did this and he did that, which is a fraction of what needed to be done. But you got to have the good side and the bad side to keep bullshitting the people of America. And
Right.
he's a very good Hollywood actor. He's a very good liar. And I'm sorry, Trump supporters. It breaks my heart also. It really, really does. But y'all been lied to.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that. I want
People,
justice. I
yeah.
want justice for the real murder of Donald Trump. That was my cousin.
People are desperate for someone to help them. All right. They need like the average person doesn't have the resources or even the knowledge of what to do, right? So, we look to our leaders. Okay, so when the leaders are corrupt, what do you do? Well, you go about your life, which is what pretty much everybody is doing now. We're all looking around like, when is something going to happen, positive?
We need to help ourselves.
Yeah,
We need to quit relying on somebody like Donald Trump to help us, because it's
yeah,
never going to happen. We need to unite as Americans. All those people that are supporting Trump, flying the flag and the American flag and Trump flags, need to unite together. They're already united, but they got the wrong man. They need to come together and make change for themselves, not putting one person like Donald Trump in that powerful position. They all have the power and they don't know it, to
right.
gather together. And January 6th, um, it was sad because everybody had the wrong idea. Um, and harm came. But who's supporting those people? Definitely not Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah. So,
But
so in your book, you had said something like the Q movement was started way back when. So the we'll call them the cabal families, the organized crime families, whatever you want to call them, had set up plans for what we'll call the Q movement. It sounds like back in the 70s, they were starting the plans. And like as we read your book, we're seeing all these like again, famous or famous to be people being involved in those plans. And now what we're seeing is the plans coming into fruition. All right.
I need to take a break for a second, Sue.
Okay. All
Just,
right.
just for a second. I think I had too much energy drink, but
That's fine.
yeah, I'm getting a little lightheaded here, feeling a little dizzy, so I'm just gonna go put a little water on my face. But I'll
All
be
right.
right back.
You want me to hang on then?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool. All right. So I have been watching the questions and basically we think in our Jedi group, if you will, that John has been protected by God, that he's been in all these crashes and all these almost killed, almost shot, almost this, almost that. He's been almost killed so many times and he's still here. And there's a greater purpose for him being here, which is he's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
had
here
too
to
much
tell
energy.
his story down the line. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do is just get the story out as much as he's able to tell at this point so that we're able to understand it and then again build support for him and then he'll be able to tell his story during the tribunals. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And
Done
second
with this
thing
thing.
is not sure what's going to happen with this bike rally, but I wouldn't mind helping put it together if anyone wants to work with me on that. All right.
Lost my hat, man.
I've been
Oh,
just
I feel better now.
I've
Yeah, I
been
think I had. I'm not supposed to have coffee or tea or energy
yeah,
drinks or any of that. And
yeah,
you know what? I didn't even take my medicine this morning.
yeah,
But yeah, um, I get too much caffeine and it makes me feel like I'm going to check out of town.
yeah.
But yeah, I feel better after a few minutes. So.
Okay. Well, if you need, to cut it short, that's fine too. So whatever you need is good. All right.
Oh, getting my story out is. You want to see
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what I'm supposed to take in the morning, and here it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't take it. But yeah, I got one of these pills from the pharmacy yesterday or Sunday, and just for one pill was $2,500. Not for one pill, but the dose of
Prescription.
pills
Yeah.
in the bottle. Yeah, 2,500 for one. There's it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We need to
So
fix that.
when you bring home your pills and your groceries and things like that, set them on your Smarty products or set the Smarty products next to them for like a little while so that they are cleared of the darkness and then the vibration and the health benefits are lifted for you, okay? Because that stuff isn't good for you. I'm not saying don't take it because I'm not a doctor, but put your Smarty products next to it to have those healing frequencies.
That's already done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
there's Smarty products stickers all over that
Yeah.
kitchen table where they
Yeah.
sit. So
And you've got a pithalum ball, and I think you have a crystalline chamber. So put,
well, Robin does.
yeah, yeah. So put that, put your pills and things near that, and like if you bring home a lot of groceries or whatever, that will bring up the vibe in your food and in those pills as well, and it'll make you feel better. It's just going to accumulate. So
Yeah, I love my coffee, but I'm not supposed to drink coffee. I even tried getting the half and half, but this morning it was 3 o'clock. I started drinking coffee, and by 5 or 6, I was like, Robin, I got to go back to bed.
yeah, yeah. So
Love
yeah,
my coffee, but
yeah, it's everyone loves coffee. I don't drink coffee, but everyone loves it. But it's really not especially good for you. So that it's really the caffeine factor and the addiction factor that you want to get away from. So
yeah, I still got my bad habits that I need to cut down on. But yeah,
yeah.
I, I got the habit of waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and making a pot of coffee. But after, 1 cup's okay, 2 cups kind of, but on that third cup, I'm like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that.
We've all been there, so. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Bill Gates, and so basically that it really well, I'm just going to say it like this: it chaps my ass that Bill Gates was given this, and made famous and wealthy, and of course now he is a puppet, but he's a very powerful, prominent, evil puppet too, and it's not right. It's just not right. So
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. I don't um I try to not worry about it, but yeah, it's all connected. They're
yeah,
all connected to the same crime ring. And then you put all these people in power, which they were put in power. They were put to have money, and they're all used. They're all told how to spend their money, just like Donald Trump. He's told how to spend his money. I guarantee it. Just like Bill Gates, he's and Elon and everybody else. They're all told how to spend their money
yeah,
and where to spend their money and what to buy and what not to buy. And
yeah.
that's why I think Donald Trump works so hard to make extra money that he can actually spend without being controlled by organized crime and told how to spend it. I mean, if I was a billionaire, you think I'm going to be doing what he's doing? First, no, I'm going to be enjoying myself. But when you're told by organized crime on how to spend your money and what to do with it, you're trying to make a
Yeah.
little
You
extra.
do it. Yeah, okay. So for those that haven't watched our past videos, last week I think we pretty much shit talked the government the whole time, but we know that there are more than one Donald Trumps out there. Okay, so pretty much everyone knows that, and if you don't, yikes. So that's the whole premise of the belief system, but we don't know what the real agenda is. You know what I mean? So like he had his chance. He started to do some good things. We were hoping he'd continue. And like even this January 6th thing, there's a whole bunch of guys in jail and nothing's been done for them. Okay. No one's
And
lifted a finger for them. You know what I mean?
I got an idea of what their main plan is, and it scares the crap out of me. But
Oh,
I've talked to a few people that say they've gone to Donald Trump rallies and they weren't even sure if it was a real Donald Trump. They were all, I think it was a body doubt. I think we went to a rally and it wasn't even Donald Trump.
yeah.
So yeah, identity theft is huge.
I was 5 feet away from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Okay. In your book, you did a short story about meeting Elvis, and I don't know why I was told to ask you about Elvis. So can you kind of give us an overview of the story and kind of explain what happened there? It doesn't sound like you met him maybe 2 or 3 times, it sounds like, briefly.
Yeah, yeah, no, we went to Hawaii. I flew with Elvis to Hawaii. He was doing movies in Hawaii. I was actually with. I'm so bad with names. I'll have to figure out her name. Barbara Stanwyck or somebody like that.
Dyson.
No.
There's a
Um, but yeah, me and her and Elvis and Wayne and I think Elvis's manager or whatever. But anyway, we took a plane to Hawaii, made some films. Um, I hung out with Elvis. I was with Elvis while they were telling Elvis what he could buy, what he couldn't buy, trying to sell Elvis things. Um, I I was with Lisa um, a few times, hanging out, but yeah, it was more than just occasionally. It's almost like they were helping hide me out there. But
oh,
Elvis got to the point where he was being controlled by organized crime too.
yeah, yeah. So, we know that he got into drugs and alcohol and um
Yeah, he wasn't in good health.
yeah. And like, there a movie came out maybe 2 years ago about Elvis. I don't know if you saw it. It was a really good movie, but it showed how his manager was basically embezzling his father. Everyone was like taking advantage of him and corrupting him. It was really a great movie, although so sad about how he was treated by those that, you know, really just wanted to ride on his coattails. And
Yeah, actually, Elvis gave me a Harley Davidson when I was young too. He
whoa.
actually he actually gave me a Harley Davidson motorbike. I could tell you a few stories that I haven't told anybody about Elvis. Might as well tell you now, but I was actually there one time where he grabbed a loaded weapon and was so frustrated with the people that were there around him. he actually locked himself in the bathroom with a loaded weapon, and everybody was concerned of what he was going to do in the bathroom, and they actually had me go to the door and try to talk some sense into him. But yeah, that was
Wow.
my story.
Wow. Wow. So you knew him more than just a few times. You knew him a little bit more deeply, and you felt
Yeah,
like
he wanted to, he in the picture in my book, he wanted to take me for a ride on his. He wanted to get me out of there, take me for a ride. That morning, we were sitting there, and he was going over. He paid a guy $5,000 to invent that heater suit that he's wearing in that picture. Nobody knows about that. Nobody, but he actually paid, and it was actually one of the Hell's Angels associates that he paid $5,000 to make that heater suit because they were going to patent it and try to make money on it. But we were there that morning, we're going over on how the suit operated and all that. But yeah, I thought it was kind of corny myself, the way it was set up and run, but it is what it is. I was like, man, Elvis got suckered on that one, $5,000 just to run a piece of clothing from a motor on up with a fan on it.
yeah, but in that little vignette in your book, it basically says that you didn't get to go on the ride. He had like a tricycle, I think so.
No, that lady, those
Like,
people, they came chasing after us,
yeah.
and then they took a picture and made believe it was some other reason. But actually, I wasn't supposed to leave the compound there. So they came chasing after us, yelling and screaming, "Stop! He can't go out of the yard." I don't know if it was because they were hiding me out. They didn't want the public to see me on the back of Elvis's trike and expose me. But yeah, I had my hair all long as a kid back then too.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's a little bit mind-blowing.
And Sonny Barger, the Hells Angels president, is on a trike back there also with them. They were into building trikes, and that was a big thing in the 70s, was having a cool custom trike.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was also because the Hells Angels were protecting me also.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So how long has it been since you've communicated with Wayne?
It's been a few years.
Okay. All right. So we don't know really his whereabouts, if he's alive, dead, or any of that.
I actually have no idea.
Okay, just
And
asking.
I wouldn't, I get people asking me, well, who's Wayne? What's he look like? Describe him and every other thing. And
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't.
Yeah.
Why would I put his life in danger or expose him or
Yeah. And in your book, you basically implied that Wayne wanted to groom you to like take over Atlantic City as a mafia boss, I guess. It's not a very good way to say it, but that's what I think is what you implied. And then
yeah,
it's
everything's run. This whole country's run. Everything is run by organized crime. Whether we like it or not, that's how it's done. Everything. And it all depends who's put in the position to run it, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. You could be put in the position of running in Atlantic City and being a good guy where you show kindness to the guests that show up at Atlantic City, or you could be a bad guy
yeah.
where guests show up at Atlantic City and you kill them and take their money. So everything's run. It's just how
Right.
how we perceive it and look at it. But
Right. Well,
and I would have been a good guy. I would have been a really good guy. I would have made Atlantic City prosper and that kind of thing. But
well, I was
that's
there
just
probably 7 years ago. It's not prospering. It's kind of nasty and very low end. Everything's gone. It's like, it's not my thing anyways.
and if you drive 2 blocks away from the city,
Yeah.
it's really deteriorated and gone downhill, and that's because the bad guys are running it.
Yeah.
All that money that town is making, they need to help the community.
Yeah.
but
And
it's not being done. It's just a money making town. That's all it is a money
yeah,
making town.
that's what I was going to say is the people are not getting the money. The people that own the resorts are. And what I was going to say is, isn't it interesting that Trump has a resort there, a casino, whatever you want to call it. And from what I understand, he put it up and then it went out of business or something. It made all the other casinos go out of business and then it kind of closed down. So it really screwed a lot of people in that town. And again, I don't know all the details.
And
Really
and
care.
that was all done after Trump was replaced and everything. But I
Yes.
was actually there. I went to the Trump Casino Hotel, and I actually meeting and the girlfriend I was with had a $600 meal at his restaurant. And I have never experienced that in my life because I had people constantly standing up by my side while I was eating my steak and potato and eating the bread. But I mean, I'd take a bite of bread and somebody'd be there with a little whisk broom whisking the crumbs off my shirt. And I was like, for real?
Wow. Wow. So you've been on both ends of the spectrum, eating $600 meals or not eating at all, you know?
Right. And yeah, and that was all comp. That was all free to me.
Yeah.
But I stayed in, I'm pretty sure just about every hotel casino there was, every hotel that wasn't a casino in Atlantic City. But like I said, like, you said in my book, I thought I was going to run it. I wanted to know that town inside out,
Right.
all the way from taking rides on the little push carts down the walkway, or I think I went in every single shop they had there. Yeah, I was getting, if Wayne wanted me to run something, I wanted to know the ins and outs of it, and I wanted to do the best job I
Yeah.
possibly could.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know what happened to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were
But yeah,
getting to know the people and you were like getting to know the culture there. And then it just fizzled, it sounds like.
right. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what happened, but um, I thought that's what I was supposed to do, and I did it. Every weekend I would be there, um, at a different, I want to know the ins and outs. But I don't. I wish I had all the answers. That would be cool. Maybe someday I'll get a lot of the answers. A lot of it in the files that aren't being released. But yeah, if they wanted me to do a good job, I wanted to do the best job I possibly
Of
could because
course.
that's how I was.
Yeah, of course. So, let's see, we talked, I think, about Michelle Obama maybe last time. So you had met someone, I think, in a bar, and this was a long time ago. Can you tell us that story again?
Yeah, Michelle Obama was in college. I believe it was San Francisco or Oakland, or anyway, it was in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she picked me up in the bar or if I picked her up in the bar.
Okay.
But anyway, she was with a girlfriend, and yeah, we hooked up, um, spent a little time together, and that was about it, really.
How do you
It was
know
kind of like
how do you know
it
it was
was
her? Because back then, she wouldn't have been, famous in the public eye, at least. So how do you know it was her?
I really don't know the truth,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
do I know anybody's anybody anymore? But
Yeah.
really, with everything they got going on, but to me, it was her.
Okay. Yeah,
And
just
I didn't actually, when I talked with Barack Obama, I didn't actually say, hey, yeah, me and your former wife had sex once.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
I was just wondering if it was someone that, maybe looked like her and it wasn't actually her or whatever. I would guess it was just like dancing around that topic.
and it was all planned. Um,
Yeah.
it was put there. I don't know if Wayne had something to do with it, but things are planned like that, so I wouldn't forget. And
Yeah.
Wayne has that much power. the Secret Service. And I was just thinking of this, not that it matters or anything, but years ago, I was researching the MK Ultra project and the Secret Service and the Secret Service agents that aren't on the actual payroll and every other thing. And back then it was like 55,000 people. And if you think of 55,000, call them victims, call them people working for the government secretly, that's a lot of people. And they can do some crazy things. And back in California, there where I was at, that was pretty much their headquarters, their training grounds, and their stronghold.
Okay, so you're saying there were 55,000 agents. Is that what I'm hearing? And
That
then,
aren't on the payroll, that are invisible,
okay, so then
that they can pull up at any moment.
that would lead you to expect that there's a huge number of MK Ultra victims out
Huge
there.
number. I can see it from a mile away. Even on TikTok and Facebook, and people that I've read their comments, it's huge. But they get them as children, to work for them, because the one huge factor is they use these people to commit their crimes for them, and they can never be caught or charged for these crimes because somebody else is doing the crimes for them.
Right.
And it's huge, but that's how it's worked. That's how it's operated.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So MK Ultra is basically where they torture you. And in this case, they also put a chip in your head so they could track you and control you that way. But they torture you and they give you images and they,
Yeah, that was done when I was real young. They did that to me. So
Yeah.
what the reason was, I don't have all the answers, but yeah, they sent me on some crazy missions as a child, just because who I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, MK Ultra, if you piss these people off, they can have you do anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't care what it is, to the extreme it is. They can have you literally do anything. Put a gun in your mouth and pull the trigger. The most extreme things, they can make you do it through mind control.
Yeah. I feel like some of these attacks on like the Timothy McVeigh thing was MK Ultra. You know what I mean? Like they make people there was a like a
I can guarantee you. I personally talked with Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah.
And 100%.
Yeah.
100%. They didn't want you to know the real story. They got rid of Timothy McVeigh. Timothy McVeigh shouldn't have done what he did. He should have been more, you know. But Timothy McVeigh quoted, "Kill them all and let God sort them out." He didn't care.
Yeah. It's also my assumption, like we have a lot of mass shootings. Now, I don't think all of those are even legit. Okay, I think they're false flags. We're not being told the whole story, but it's designed to cause fear and also to take the guns away from the people. But there are occasions when somebody does like go berserk and do these horrible things, and I feel like they're also MK Ultra. And again, there's an agenda there of taking the guns away from the
100%, 100%. And it's MK Ultra. Like I said, you can get somebody under MK Ultra and have them take their own life, and they have them take many lives. But we don't know the scenarios of why. Some of them gun control. Some of them maybe they just don't like. We're talking evil people. So like Las Vegas shooting, maybe there was just one person standing out that they wanted to get rid of. Maybe it was the millions of dollars that the casinos lost over that. We don't know. I don't know personally why that was done. Maybe it was to extort money from the casinos. Like maybe they already in lawsuits, they lost millions of dollars just for renting a room out to an American. It wasn't their fault that this American brought all those weapons up to that motel room. We have a right. But what the exact reason was, I always say why. It goes back to money, but what part of it is the money connected to?
Right.
But yeah, I believe 100%, just the way the FBI covered the whole situation up. It was done by government agents and MK Ultra program.
Yeah, there's no
I'm
question.
convinced. I'm convinced it was.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I've heard alternate versions of the story. And again, I don't know what the real truth is, but I know it isn't what we've been told. You know what I mean? It's some variation of that.
It goes back to it really saddens my heart. It really does when I hear people say, we're Vegas strong. We're Vegas strong. We're going to come back. Well, you've been lied to. You're not Vegas strong because you never got answers of why. It wasn't just some random guy showed up on his plane in Las Vegas and carried all these weapons up and shot all these people. It was planned. It was a planned event to do what he did. And then for the FBI just to say, it was just random. Let's charge the guy that sold him the ammunition in the first place. And we'll just say we don't know why he did it, but they know why. But Vegas strong, no, they're Vegas weak because as a people, they're not standing up and demanding answers for why, which they need to be.
Yeah.
But we're exposing that right now. It's MK Ultra, and it's over money for big business and casinos and the music industry, and maybe many factors. They don't do just one thing. They got to put it. Maybe they gave concert tickets to their enemies and said, "Hey, go check out this free concert. Get your ass shot that day." And by the way, wear a bright red shirt or a bright blue shirt or whatever. And then the poor guy that's going up there shooting his gun, they're giving him MK Ultra, saying, make sure you shoot everybody with a red shirt that day.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah. And there's so many things like this that, and I think we're going to have our minds blown, because I think every event that we've been taught about in school or whatever is pretty much a lie. And, I've been talking with Smarty a lot. We talked about Pearl Harbor. So somebody asked me a question. Did our own government attack Pearl Harbor so that we would get into the war? And I'm like, that's not a good question. Well, the answer was yes. And that got us into the war. And look how much money certain people made in the wars. They funded both sides, so there's no losing. They just make money, 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 money. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the pain and suffering that people go through. But I think that we're going to see that with almost every, like we'll call them historical incident, that we've been lied to about the real cause, the real reason, and how it was really done. And it's going to be.
That's just like the World Trade Centers. Did we take our own World Trade Centers just so they could make money? And
yeah,
I can honestly say 100%.
Yeah. So
we killed we killed our own Americans that day so we could start a war, so these people could go pump out the oil and every other thing. So George Bush could stand on that rubble saying, we're going to get even.
Yep.
But we ain't going to tell them we're the ones that were behind it all.
Yeah. Yeah. So they mysteriously find the passports of, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 foreigners. And so then we can create a war against them. Like everything is burned except those passports, right? And the whole story doesn't fly, you know what I mean? But a lot of people still believe it. I was talking with some people a few weeks ago and I was like shocked. Like, you still believe that? Initially, like, we don't know what to think, but once we look at what's going out there, the extra footage and all of that, it's not what we've been told. And I think we're going to be pretty upset when we find the real truth out, Yeah. So any other
Makes you think.
Yeah. Any other points you want to get across today, or any other stories you want to tell while we're here?
Oh, I don't want to bring up Walmart right now. Robin say mention Walmart, but
Let's shit talk Walmart. Come on, it's one of my favorites.
Me and Robin were talking about Walmart and all the holes I had to dig for in all the Walmarts and the satanic individuals running the show. And now there's a Walmart in every town, everywhere. And we were talking about the satanic cults and how they get power off of their crimes and their killings, and how many actual bodies are under the Walmarts. But yeah, satanic cults, they get off on that. They feel if they commit a murder and that body is actually crying out, which attracts the people to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we were talking about that earlier, but yeah, that's for another show.
Well, we might have actually talked about this a few weeks ago that basically the Walmarts were created for child trafficking centers, and underneath the Walmart, like they don't
Oh,
use,
okay, yeah.
they always use brand new buildings that they dig the foundation in that, and they have their own guys come in and do it, and they create these child trafficking tunnels and things.
But it's all connected. Sam Walton started Sam's Club. Sam's Club grew into Walmart. Sam Walton was a truck driver. Now Sam Walton's family, which isn't his family anymore, are making billions of dollars. They're all controlled by organized crime. Sam Walton's family was murdered, just like my family. It was a takeover. I knew Sam Walton. Hillary Clinton was on the board of Walmart before it became huge. The Clinton Foundation. But yeah, Hillary Clinton was on the board of Walmart at the start of Walmart. I knew Sam Walton. I flew in Sam Walton's plane. Hillary Clinton. I knew Hillary Clinton when she was young. She would not fly on a plane with me because she knew they wanted to kill me. So she refused to get on Sam Walton's plane one day when actually I believe we flew to Laughlin, Nevada. But yeah, Hillary Clinton on the board of Walmart explains it all. It's the same, it's all connected. It is all so connected.
Wow.
You think Hillary Clinton knew that there was going to be a Walmart in every single town? You think she stocked up on those securities? Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah. It's
And
interesting.
even Sam Walton's son died in a plane crash.
Oh, we
Um,
did.
yeah, they love plane crashes.
Yeah.
They love his house even burnt down once. They were all after Sam Walton, but yeah, it's all connected, and
Wow.
it's all to sit back so they can make all that money.
Yep. Yeah. It's shocking how much money they seem to want and need, right? Like in my mind, you get so much, like, isn't that enough? But they never have enough.
But it was
They,
all to help turn this country into a communist country. Just think of all the businesses that I mean, it's crazy how bad Walmart actually hurt the economy. Now all you have is employees at Walmart.
yeah.
You don't have business owners and every other thing, hardware stores and the meat markets and the butcher and it's all turned into Walmart in
Yeah.
every town, and they have their employees making whatever wage they make, but it's all turned into a communist country as far as I'm concerned. And
Equality.
Sam Walton's motto, which gets me all the time, when Sam Walton started Sam's Club and Walmart, it was all made in America. Come shop at Walmart because it's made in America. We owe China. The United States owes China 850 billion dollars. We borrowed it. We're paying that. American taxpayers are paying China right now. We're buying their products. We're paying them money. This is the United States. Why do we owe anybody? We're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt to countries that are possibly our enemies, but we're doing it. They're destroying us. I was saying on TikTok Live earlier, if you have a child born to this day, that child born owes the United States government $75,000 just being born. Once you're born, you owe $75,000. That's slavery. That's born into slavery. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're allowing it to happen. We need to
Right.
change it yesterday.
Right. It's shocking. And of course, Walmart hasn't made it better for the people. Like you said, they've shut down all the local businesses. Okay, so that was employment, it was quality goods and services for the most part, of course. And now we've got these big box stores, and all they've got is crap. Like the quality of everything is the lowest possible quality. The prices are not that cheap anymore. It used to be you could get really good deals there. Now it's expensive and the quality is zero. And, we know that they're there for a cover because they're into child trafficking. That's how they make their money. So,
Yeah, and then you got the all the other stores the dollar store. There's a dollar store right down the street. And Robin had mentioned, oh, dollar store's closing down 1,000 stores. And I went in there the other day and everything was 30% off. They're closing. They just remodeled. They just remodeled last year.
Yeah.
So last year they remodeled this dollar store right next to my home, and they made it better. They put in the refrigerated products where you go get the ice cream and the pizza and all this. And a year later, they're closing it and 1,000 stores. Why? Why would a big company? Because this shit's coming down. It's not getting better where they're building more dollar stores or making their dollar store better like they did just a year ago, and now they're closing down completely.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, all we're going to have is Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, and I'm sad because, you know, of course, with the pandemic, everyone's online shopping now. And Amazon and that, and you can't go to a mall. There's no stores in the mall, but you go and they don't have really inventory, and I don't know how they're making it. And it's sad because it used to be a thing where you'd go and you touch the fabric or you say, I like that or whatever. It was a thing. And now it's just like, I'll buy that.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, everything was about the mall. You go in the mall, that's where you go shopping at the mall. It was full. There was people walking like crazy down the aisles, and there was every store you can imagine at the mall.
Yeah.
Me and Robin went to a mall the other day, and it was actually dead. We were the only people in there except for the people working there, and they were half asleep. And it's like, this is America now.
It's really sad, isn't it? And maybe the time of malls has passed, but like all that space, they've got to heat and cool that space, and it's just sad, you know? So
yeah, it's time we started trying to revive America and making it better, because they've been in control. Organized crime has been in control. All they're worried about is their own pockets, not about Americans. And America is turning to shit. But the sad part that I see in the future is actually the takeover of the United States of America by foreign powers. And that's really heartbreaking for me. I love this country. Many have fought for it. But when you know, by what I have learned and been schooled on so much, I don't see a good future unless we stand up and take America back from these evil politicians and what they're doing to us.
Yeah.
It's time to stop making the laws and start abolishing some of the laws, putting the flag back in the classroom, standing up for the Pledge of Allegiance, being proud of our country once again, not taking down our national monuments that were put there so we can remember. There's so much that has been done to destroy this country. Right. The Supreme Court being taken over by this criminal organization, and we need to take our country back. We really, really do.
Agreed. Yeah. I thank you for your time. Is there anything else you want to squeeze out today? I mean,
no, I better go get my hair cut.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for watching. And before you send me all the hate comments, like, please read the book and or listen to the previous videos. It would make it a lot easier. And John, I thank you for your time and all that you've gone through, like really like the courage that you've got and like the strength. Like, I don't think most of us could go through that and last and keep motivated. So thank you for what you're doing. And I look forward to meeting you very soon.
I thank you so very much. I really appreciate you. I know the hate comments are huge. They're all programmed to hate instead of love. They don't know how to turn a channel or turn their head. They'd rather type in a hate comment instead of just moving on. But thank you so much. I've just learned to delete them. I'm getting good at deleting them. Once they start, I just don't need you. Yep. But thank you.
Yeah,
we're gonna get it out. We're gonna get it out to all the real Americans that believe in this country.
So again, we're talking about grassroots movements. People, so share the videos, share the book, share the story. And it may take us a while, but we're going to get the story out there. And your story is overlapping with many others, and they're going to be coming forward too. So we're going to see more and more and more and more truth come out very soon. So,
And hey, if there's these people out there that want to get their story out and don't know how to do it, check out Amazon. Look up Jackie Goldman. Ask Jackie Goldman that wrote my book for me, because I couldn't have done it without her. So
yeah,
hit her up. Hit her up.
yeah. Thank you so much, John. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
very soon.
Okay.
Take care.